How would you briefly describe your project to someone unfamiliar with what you do?
I work for the Department for Aging and Independent Living in Kentucky, and we took advantage of this funding opportunity to examine disaster plans that are available or to our senior centers and what kind of plans they have in place so that we can make sure that our seniors and our service population receive services when there is a disaster.
What is the why behind your project?
It's really to make sure that seniors are able to continue getting services, information, meals when there is a disaster and maybe the center is closed or the meal route is not available to go out for delivery that day.
What has worked well for your project?
We started this project probably at the height of the pandemic, and we did a lot of surveys. That was the first phase of our project, was to do surveys. Survey seniors, survey the aging network. And seniors were bored. They were home, they were alone, they didn't have anything to do, so they were willing to participate in surveys.
What are some challenges your project faced?
The biggest challenge has been that we wanted to get some opinions from those not in the aging network, some of those more corporate, high-level organizations, but they're not really interested in what we do and why we do it.
How did you find appropriate partners/partner organizations?
Well, we worked with our traditional partners. We worked with our aging network partners. We worked with the National Foundation to End Senior Hunger. We partnered with the Georgia Division of Aging Services to be another participant in our project.
What funding sources have you utilized or will you utilize?
Combining some of our different pots of funds, we're using some of our state funds, we're using some of our other ACL funds from the Older Americans Act, such as the 3B Supportive Services funds.
How will this project be sustainable once your grant period is done?
Our project is going to produce a blueprint that senior centers can use to plan for disaster preparedness, and that plan is going to become part of our contracts with our providers to make sure that they update and review their plan annually.
What stakeholders do you need buy-in from?
We need the buy-in of our aging network, our area agencies on aging, our senior centers, and the seniors themselves.
What advice do you have for trying to replicate a similar project?
Taking the blueprint, examining it, and maybe making some changes that will work better for your area, for your part of the country, depending on what kind of disasters that you have. Of course, we all had a global pandemic, but in Kentucky, we've also suffered tornadoes, flooding, ice storms. Different areas have different disasters, and customizing your plan to meet your area's needs is probably going to be the most important thing.
What are some similar steps to beginning a similar project?
Well, we are about to release our blueprint, and we are going to make that available to everyone as part of this project. So taking that blueprint and using it and going through it and making sure it meets your area's needs.
What do you wish you would have known prior to beginning the project?
When we started the project, it was really just about COVID and centers being shut down for a global pandemic. But as time has progressed, particularly in Kentucky, we did suffer a major disaster with a tornado back in December of 2021, and most recently the massive floods that we've experienced in eastern Kentucky. So our plan needs to not just be for one type of disaster, it needs to be for any type of reason that a disaster plan is needed.